Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and here we go with the brand new Dormammu GBR tier list. Now, I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about Dormammu GBR, and I want to start off the video by saying no, the devs have still not fixed all of the various bugs and glitches and disconnects in Dormammu GBR, especially the switch bug where your cooldowns don't continue to be cooled down, which is very irritating. However, you still need to play Dormammu GBR, and probably the best place to play it or get carried if you can't do it yourself is to join the Discord, discord.gg/thenewmeta. 15,000 plus members, over 1,000 active all the time, and we have a dedicated channel for clearing and carrying in Dormammu GBR. Just be polite and be patient. But yeah, it is frustrating, definitely, to have the only game mode that drops Soul of the Faltine, which is 100% necessary for tier 4, be plagued with bugs and things. But I'm hoping that that won't be much the issue for long, that they won't continue, that the devs will fix that, and the devs will also put Soul of the Faltine in another game mode. But yeah, let's get down to it. Let's get down to business. This is my tier list for Dormammu GBR. Of course, you're more than welcome to use maybe not any character you want, because you can only use tier 3 and tier 4, tier 3 and Transcended characters, and also it's very difficult. The difficulty level is quite high for this piece of content, but there are quite a few characters that can carry you through it, or at least become very good supports for it. So last time we did this tier list, this is what it looked like, minus the top tier. Like I redid the colorings because it looks pretty now, but I didn't have the tier 4 tag, and I didn't have it because we didn't have that many tier 4s at the time, but we do now. And so I'm just going to start off by ranking the tier 4s for Dormammu GBR. Now, this may be a little controversial, but I am going to be putting Thor number 1. And the reason for that is Dormammu, like Master Mode, like Galactus, cycles through different typings. He goes Blast, Combat Blast Speed, Combat Blast Speed Universal. So that means most of the days of the week, Thor has the advantage, because he gets a up to 20% increased damage versus Dormammu whenever he's not universal. And when he is universal, no one gets an advantage over him, so he doesn't get a penalty there. He also doesn't get a penalty on any days, so that means he doesn't take more damage and do less damage. So Thor, in my opinion, is by far the most consistent character. If you have a stacked build and you have good cards like me, it's just every day a 2 minute and a half, like 2 minute and 15 seconds to 2 minute and 45 second clear, depending on how many times I get sent to the mindless zone, and depending on how good or bad my random teammates are. And of course, it can be faster than 2 minutes if I have really stacked teammates. But yeah, that's where I think Thor lands. He's got enough survivability. He's got an amazing second skill that allows you to move, so you can dodge the purple lines with the flames, or you can dodge the purple orbs in the last phase. So I think Thor just combines everything together in a really fantastic way. However, we have more tier 4s. I think Iron Man goes second for obvious reasons here. He will out DPS Thor on certain days. You can definitely find Iron Men that are faster than Thor, due in part to the massive advantage he gets on combat day, where he does up to 60% more damage, which is 40% more than Thor, but also because Iron Man has a crazy burst damage potential, and he has that amazing uniform passive. So in terms of raw damage, Iron Man may edge out Thor on certain days. I think overall, if you average out all the days, especially with how much damage he loses on speed day, I think it's a lot closer. It might even favor Thor. But yeah, you cannot go wrong. This can be flip-flopped, and to favor Iron Man and to argue in Iron Man's favor, just basically said the same thing reversed. His bubble on his tier 4, again, we're assuming they're tier 4 here. The bubble on the tier 4 is very good defensively, allowing you to survive and tank hits, again, from the purple flames or the purple orbs. He doesn't have a movement skill per se, and he can get knocked out of his 5th skill because of the guard break potential. But otherwise, Iron Man is fantastic. Third place here, I am going out on a limb because I don't have them tier 4, but I'm going to place Blue Dragon third, just because of the massive jump in DPS we're seeing from level 80 to tier 4. They have the only tier 4 skill with a damage associated with it, like the tier 4 skill itself does damage, and they have good healing and good tanking and a self-buffing leadership, which is so clutch for Dormammu GBR, because then you could pair them with 2 supports, and like Thor, Blue Dragon can be paired with White Fox and other highly valuable support legends. Coming up next at number 4, I'm probably going to give the edge to Storm for DPS, but Hulk for overall survivability and tankiness. So this really flip-flops. I'm actually going to put Hulk. I think I said Thor. I'm going to put Hulk ahead of Storm because we already have 2 blast types. So it does become a little bit redundant in terms of the blast category because they all suffer from the same problem, and Hulk actually has the opposite problem. So yeah, I put Hulk there. Easily the tankiest character in the game, easily the easiest character to play for Dormammu if you have a defensive build on him. He basically cannot die, which is really cool. It's definitely going to take you longer to clear. He's definitely slower than anybody else on this list, Moon Knight included, but he's the tankiest by far. But yeah, in terms of damage, I would say Storm beats him out. I would say maybe even Moon Knight beats him out for damage, but I'm highlighting the value of survivability. I know some people have difficulty and they die on Dormammu, so that's why I'm highlighting it. But yeah, in terms of raw damage, it would look like this. In terms of survivability, it would look like this. So I'm gonna hedge my bets on survivability, but just know that it can go either way, and again, it depends on what you're looking for. I'm not going to talk too much about Storm and Moon Knight. Moon Knight's basically just more damage, less survivability than Hulk, so there's not really too much to say about that. You can trade one for the other. And then Storm is just a worse, in my opinion, just a worse version of Blue Dragon, because she has probably similar DPS, but lower defenses, lower movement speed, lower healing, just basically everything lower, no self-buffing lead. Kind of sad, yeah. But that's how the tier 4 ranking for Dormammu lines out, in my opinion. And then we go to the all day, any day. Again, I don't think this category has changed at all. You could maybe argue that Doctor Strange could go up here. He is somehow absurdly good for Dormammu GBR. Like, sometimes he's faster than some tier 4s. So I honestly think you could put him up here. You probably don't want to suffer through using him on speed day, which is why I didn't put him here before. But I would probably even put him ahead of Doctor Doom if you're not doing speed day. That's how good Doctor Strange is. Yeah, he's pretty nuts. So I'll bump him up just to rebalance this list a little bit more. But just know that for whatever reason, Doctor Strange is insane. Also, PSA, I didn't say this before, but the tier 4 category and the tier 4 characters here are only ranked this way when you have them at tier 4. I know that's an assumption that most of you made, and I'm great that you're with me on that page. But if you're not on that page with me, I need to be very clear. If these characters are not tier 4, if they're tier 3, or if they're just level 80, or if they're just a transcended and not, their ranking falls drastically. Like, most of them, if not all of them, will fall down to this last tier. Good, but cannot solo. It's really that stark, that Tony Stark of a contrast. Like, the contrast is very stark, especially for certain tier 4s who are just quite bad at level 80 before you get them to tier 4. So yeah, I just wanted to make that clear as well. Then we come to Miss Marvel Kamala Khan. She's amazing. She's basically a better version of Makari. That's pretty much what most of the testing has revealed. So she goes there. She has just as much sustain as Makari, huge defenses. She has combat type stats, so her attack is really high, her HP is really high, and she hits like a truck, and she can carry whether you have an energy or a rage on her. Is she faster with a rage by about 50 seconds? Yes. But can she do it with an energy? Also yes. So that is worth mega points. For Juggernaut and Titania, I would say it's probably unreasonable to put them in the godly category. I would say they are very good versus weak typing. I would say Juggernaut's probably a little bit worse, a little bit slower, but he does make up for that for being basically unkillable. So it's essentially the same thing I was saying here with Hulk, where yeah, you could argue that he's slower than Storm and Moon Knight, so he shouldn't be at the top because we're prioritizing damage. But in terms of survivability, for a game mode that does give you 10 minutes to clear and 2 other teammates to help you clear, I like the survivability, and I want to highlight it more because honestly 99% of this game is just a DPS check. So if there is some value for defenses, I do want to sort of overemphasize it a little bit and acknowledge that I'm overemphasizing it. So yeah, he probably does less damage than Gwenpool, maybe does less damage than Hawkeye, maybe not, but really it comes down to the survivability being just absolutely chef's kiss. And then Titania is basically the same. A little bit less survivability, but insane damage. And then for the support gods, basically, I just removed the old Valkyrie uniform and put the new one in, but I put her ahead of Sif now because she does really good damage. She almost does good enough damage to be bumped up, but she's just too good of a support to not be referenced in the support legends category. And then I also forgot about Wave in my previous video. I also actually in my previous video forgot about White Fox, so I added in White Fox. I added the old uniform for those of you wondering, not because the new uniform is bad, but because I want to tell players that they can still use the old uniform for White Fox and still get a very good support. I don't want to put the new uniform and then people see that and say, oh, I don't have the paywall uniform, I guess I can't use White Fox. Don't make that connection. You could absolutely use the old uniform. You could also use the new uniform when you get it on Christmas if you don't already have it, and obviously it's better because it's newer and it's paywall, but the old one works just fine as well. So yeah, that's how the list shakes out. Not that many new contenders outside of tier 4, and we did have quite a few duds in between, Robbie Reyes, etc., who couldn't even crack this list at all. Hopefully we see more characters coming into this list, especially tier 3s, right? Like, of course, tier 4s, because the game mode has that tier 4 drop, but I do want to see more characters like Miss Marvel and Doctor Strange come out, who are just powerhouses for this at tier 3, because I think they become very high priority and very valuable targets for players, because it gives you a way to farm the game mode without having the item drop that the game mode gives. I do realize, and I don't want to make this video too long, but I do realize the irony in telling you that the 6 best characters for the game mode require you to beat the game mode first or open your wallet. I realize the irony there, and that's why I wanted to highlight characters like Doctor Strange and Miss Marvel, and also to encourage the devs to release more characters like Doctor Strange and Miss Marvel who can carry without needing that tier 4 bump. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of this ranking. Did I miss anyone? Did I rank anyone? Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.